In the early 1980s, performance cars in the United States were struggling. Engines had low horsepower, and cars were heavy with poor acceleration, handling, and braking. The 1981 Yenko Turbo Z Camaro aimed to change that. At a time when most muscle cars were slow and unimpressive, Don Yenko saw an opportunity. He took the 1981 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 and transformed it into something far more powerful than what other American car manufacturers were offering. With only 19 units ever produced, the Yenko Turbo Z is one of the rarest Camaros in history. This is the story of the 1981 Yenko Turbo Z Camaro, a car that brought new life to American muscle cars during a difficult time. The 1981 Chevrolet Camaro Yenko Turbo Z was a unique car that stood out at a challenging time for American muscle cars. By the early 70s, muscle cars had reached their peak, with impressive power and performance. But things began to change dramatically after that. The oil crisis, stricter government emissions regulations, and rising insurance costs made it hard for manufacturers to maintain the power these cars were once known for. Environmental concerns and regulations further limited what car makers could do, and by the 1980s, the once mighty muscle cars were a shadow of their former selves. Cars that used to produce over 400 brake horsepower were then struggling to deliver half that power. By the time the 1981 Chevrolet Camaro Z28 rolled out, it was clear that manufacturers were trying to maintain the look of speed without actually delivering the performance. They added features like flashy vinyl graphics, deep dish wheels, and body kits that looked impressive but didn't improve the car's power. The Yenko Turbo Z was based on the Camaro Z28, which came with a 350 cubic inch engine. However, this engine only produced 173 horsepower, which wasn't much better than the 305 cubic inch engine from the same year, even though it was larger. The car also had a torque rating of 275 pounds, which helped, but not nearly enough to make up for the car's heavy weight of about 3,500 pounds. For a car that was supposed to be part of muscle car legacy, the performance was underwhelming, and the weight made it hard for the car to feel really fast. The muscle car era was defined by powerful engines and high performance, but by 1981, cars like the Camaro Yenko Turbo Z showed how much the landscape had changed. Before we jump into how the Yenko Turbo Z Camaro annihilated the competition, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Over 98% of you haven't subscribed. Think of the difference if everyone did. It costs nothing but means everything to us, and thanks for helping out. In 1981, Yenko Chevrolet returned to the scene with the release of the Yenko Turbo Z Chevrolet Camaro, a car that would leave its competition far behind. It had been almost 10 years since Yenko had done one of their famous factory conversions. Their last major transformation was the Vega-based Stinger II, which they stopped building in 1972. After that, Yenko shifted focus to selling parts through catalogs. But even though Don Yenko had taken a step back from full car conversions, he was still paying close attention to what General Motors was putting on the market during this time. One example that caught his eye was the 1980 Pontiac Trans Am, which featured a turbocharged engine but only delivered 207 horsepower, a figure far lower than what one would expect from such a setup. Don Yenko was not new to turbocharging. He had already played around with turbocharging back in the early 70s when he worked on the Stinger II Vegas. With the knowledge he gained from those experiments, Yenko believed he could build a better car than the ones General Motors were producing. He had done it before, and he was ready to do it again. The result of Yenko's vision was the Turbo Z, a Camaro Z28 powered by a turbocharged 350 cubic inch engine. This engine was fed by a Rochester Quadrajet carburetor and paired with a turbocharger from Turbo International. Yenko never officially released the exact horsepower of the Turbo Z, but estimates suggest it was around 300 brake horsepower. The car's power was transferred to the wheels through General Motors' TH350 3-speed automatic transmission, which was the only transmission option available for the 350 cubic inch powered Z28s in 1981. It also featured a 10-bolt rear differential with 3.08 gears. Yenko offered two versions of the Turbo Z, Stage 1 and Stage 2. Don Yenko, a passionate road racer, took the Stage 2 model further by adding Stage 2 Connie shocks, reinforcing the chassis and equipping the car with Goodyear Wingfoot radial tires and custom wheels. The car's turbocharger, designed by Turbo International, could produce a maximum of 7 pounds of boost. During testing, the Yenko Z completed the quarter mile in 14.52 seconds at a speed of 97.81 miles per hour, while running on full boost and optimizing water injection for maximum performance. Alongside its impressive performance, the Turbo Z also met strict emission standards, achieving excellent fuel efficiency with 22 miles per gallon on the highway and 18 miles per gallon in the city. The Yenko Turbo Z was introduced, offering two versions: a basic version of the 81 Z28 or a fully equipped model with every available Z28 option. The fully loaded model came with custom wheels, tires, spoilers, and interior upgrades. One of the standout features of the Turbo Z was the IROC-style fiberglass front air dam, which replaced the original stock air dam. Not only did it enhance the car's appearance, but it also served a functional purpose by directing air to the front disc brakes through the air ducts in the spoiler. Kim Mason, the project manager for the Yenko Turbo Z, explained that they had built a car that excelled in multiple areas, offering good handling, fuel efficiency, low emissions, and strong overall performance. He called it the ultimate Camaro. Inside the Camaro, the seats were made of high-quality black leather and were fully adjustable, coming from Camp Incorporated. They matched the custom steering wheel from Racemark. The Z28 dashboard had a few updates, including a Turbo International boost gauge and a light to show when the water injector was working. The cigarette lighter was replaced with a light panel that indicated the level of the water injector. This water injector was crucial for protecting the engine from damage, and the indicator lights warned the driver if the water level was low. Another improvement of the Yenko Turbo Z was the addition of a fuel heater placed beneath the turbocharged carburetor base. This heater helped prevent engine stalling during the time when the carburetor choke was off and the engine had not yet warmed up completely. The heater also helped reduce emissions. According to Yenko Chevrolet, the Yenko Turbo Z was just as clean as the regular Z28 Camaro in terms of Environmental Protection Agency standards, making it legal to sell in all 50 states. Since it was sold by an authorized Chevrolet dealer, the Yenko Turbo Z came with a full 1-year warranty. This combination of features made the Yenko Turbo Z a unique and reliable choice for car enthusiasts, blending performance with compliance and comfort. Chevrolet released the final Yenko Camaro in 1981, known as the Yenko Turbo Z. Only 19 of these cars were ever made, and of those, just 3 had the rare Stage 2 package, making them even more special. The Yenko Camaros already had earned a legendary status, and the Turbo Z continued that tradition. While the power it produced didn't match the muscle cars of the 1960s, it was still nearly twice as powerful as what Chevrolet offered in their standard 1981 models. At a time when high-performance domestic cars seemed like a thing of the past, Yenko managed to revive that memory and turn it into reality with the Turbo Z. Unfortunately, these Turbo Z Camaros marked the end of the original Yenko cars. The limited production was due to their high price tags. The Stage 1 version cost $11,000, while the more powerful Stage 2 package was priced at $17,500, which would be equivalent to $35,537 and $56,536 today. Although these cars were advanced for their time, many potential buyers were discouraged by the steep costs. Moreover, in 1982, the original Yenko Chevrolet dealership was sold, closing the chapter on one of the most iconic names in muscle car history. In January of 2020, a rare 1981 Chevrolet Yenko Camaro Turbo Z with a turbocharged 350 cubic inch engine, one of only 19 made, was sold for $31,900. Later, at Meckham's Kissimmee auction in January of 2024, another 1981 Chevrolet Yenko Turbo Z, one of just 3 produced, sold for $66,000. While the 1981 Yenko Turbo Z Camaro has a unique appeal, its high price tag doesn't resonate with all collectors. What do you think makes a car truly coveted? If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.